So lately, it's been an absolute roller coaster over in the crypto money markets, as well as loan consolidations are beginning to occur anywhere. All this began with Celsius, previously, last month. So, Celsius was primarily one of the world's leading crypto financing systems that determined to suspend withdrawals and freeze accounts on its network. Now, this coincides Celsius network that was valued at over $3.25 billion in November and IT Solutions' 1.7 million consumers. Currently, as of today, those consumers are losing hope of seeing their money ever before. Again, it was also reported that they also gave up some 150 staff members over the weekend break. If that wasn't poor, sufficient information for the crypto market, we additionally have the crypto hedge fund, 3 Arrows, funding, 3AC bought to liquidate by courts, which sent shockwaves throughout the whole crypto sector as an outcome of their failure, which we'll speak about later on in this video. We saw several various other crypto systems enter into financial problem, which actually opens your eyes on how intertwined the crypto industry truly is. For example, BlockFi, which lent out cash to 3 Arrowheads Capital, was apparently provided the choice by crypto employ FTX to be purchased for a value of $240 million. That could seem like a great deal of money because, well, it is. However, reasonably speaking, it is not at the top of BlockFi's appraisal. They were valued at are absolutely straightened with the crypto market, doing very well. So if he's able to bail out also his competitors, he's literally basically saving the whole crypto market. He's also stated that the acquisitions of troubled crypto miners in order to aid stem transmission, is the idea that since all these crypto companies are intertwined with each other, if way too many of them fall, the whole industry will certainly drop. So what's specifically going on with the crypto miners? As well as why is SBF also considering aiding them out, since now crypto miners are also facing margin calls and defaults as they jointly owe as much as $4 billion in debt. You see, numerous crypto mining companies would in fact take finances bent on create even more operational facilities, where they could mine more Bitcoin. Because you would certainly need to lease stockroom space, these centers would certainly take a great deal of funding, along with get the tools called for to extract Bitcoin. This seems like a quite easy problem. Why don't they just terminate the warehouse lease and afterwards just not buy any more devices? That's possibly a question that I would ask myself. The truth is that numerous mining firms got financings protected with future orders, suggesting that they would certainly need to repay mining devices rigs that aren't also making them any type of money. A lot of these gears are coming to be worth much less as well as less. Losing 98 to 99% of its value, 3AC confirmed that they lost around $1 million from their Luna position alone. According to resources, 3AC had connections to mostly all the significant crypto companies. And also it was stated that, quote, they dealt with everyone. 3AC would primarily obtain crypto and cash money from these firms like BlockFi as well as Voyager in an attempt to utilize their crypto positions. So while leverage could increase your gains and additionally works vice versa, if every little thing crashes, you could end up owing greater than your original investment. So the essence is that 3 Arrows funding was obtaining means way too much levering up their portfolio with highly dangerous wagers. On June 22, the Wall Surface Road Journal reported that Voyager Digital would certainly issue a notification of default 23, AC. If it really did not make a full settlement of around $665 million by June 27. Voyager had actually supposedly offered 15,250 bitcoins and $350 million in USDC 23. AC. Simply 5 days later, June 27, 3 Arrows funding obtained a notice of default. So later that day, a British Virgin Islands court ordered the liquidation of 3AC after financial institutions sued the enjoyable for failure to repay its financial debt. 3 Arrowheads funding imploded, leading to large losses for numerous crypto giants. So, as an example, Genesis was encountering losses of right into the thousands of millions of dollars. In the meanwhile, it factor $8 billion. So a sale of $240 million would certainly stand for a loss of over 95% from its perpetuity. High appraisal. Various other firms, like Voyager and also Babel Finance, are likewise in problem. And with rising cost of living at all-time highs, rates of interest are going up also. There's simply no bullish stimulant for the crypto market in the near future. function that would bolster crypto property rates, and if you pair that with the looming danger of an economic downturn, well, that's what you have now. And many people actually currently think that we are in an economic downturn, specifically considering that the Atlanta Fed simply brought out a report that the most up-to-date Q2 GDP price quote since July 1st was 2.1%. An economic downturn is specified as 2 consecutive quarters of adverse GDP. And also, as you may remember, in Q1, we currently had an adverse GDP reading. So if indeed Q2 does be available in, will formally remain in a recession. Now, we are most likely to talk concerning all the liquidations and combinations in the crypto market in today's video, as well as likewise review some ideas, since allows be real, I have on where crypto investors can go from here. It resembles the crypto winter might be inevitable, and it looks like it's coming fairly promptly. Alright, so after Celsius came out with their news that they would certainly be putting on hold to the fact that various other miners agree to market their eggs at a more affordable rate so as to get liquidity, the various other factor crypto miners are enduring now are definitely the greater energy prices. So if you knew from the CPI data, this year power costs are up about 12% year over year. If you couple this with the price of Bitcoin falling, miners are becoming much less lucrative and are compelled to liquidate a few of their crypto holdings to pay for running prices instead of simply totaling it. So if you think about the community where broadly if the miners were simply utilized to holding Bitcoin, need to market it. Currently, while it primarily develops descending pressure on the price of Bitcoin, hence, creating a mini down cycle unless the rate of Bitcoin would certainly reverse. You can see from this chart on the screen that Bitcoin offered by public miners in 2022 almost quadrupled in May alone, which trend is most likely continuing. A significant reason why the crypto economic situation grew so quickly was no question because of the quantity of money supply raising plus the low passion and also the quantitative easing prices throughout the pandemic and past with quantitative tightening or QT starting. Lots of people are not wishing to acquire high risk assets. As you can see from this graph with the complete crypto, the cap in the billions, it's essentially go back to 2020 degrees. We're additionally offering on the grey market for $237,000. The AP Royal Oak, comparable situation, $23,000, retail $165K at its optimal, and also the Rolex Daytona, which retails for $12,000 top at 48 factor 7, and is currently trading for $44.5K. A big reason for the optimal in prices was due to the mix of a barking stock exchange and also cryptocurrency getting to all-time highs. A lot of these investors were sort of terrified by the Ukraine-Russian battle, also known as geopolitics, as well as inflation. And also they selected to purchase more tangible goods like Rolexes. In fact, quote, a lot of the exact same variables that enhanced watches likewise raised demand in the primary market for tennis shoes, bags and fine fashion jewelry. Analyst stated Jeffries have estimated that crypto wealth subdue task and also very first time energetic crypto customers, which truly reveals you exactly how chilly the crypto market has ended up being. By the way, do you know just how to browse Google on cold days? Well, you need to use the winter season internet. That was a joke and it had not been a very good one. However, alas, let's continue. One more indicator of the bad crypto times are actually luxury good prices. Much more specifically enjoys. This short article in Bloomberg appeared recently, highlighting wrist watches as the next victims of the crypto disaster. After reaching record highs previously this year, the rate of preferable watches including the Rolex Daytona have fallen significantly. The Subdial 50 index, which is composed of a basket of the leading 50 most traded watch versions on the secondary market, virtually doubled in 2 years from 2022 lately, though it's been surrendering several of its gains. Now the funny thing is the below dial 50 index. Most of it has simply consisted of Rolex with a dropping of Patek and also Audemars in there also. Most watches that are not so lucky, Audrey, have actually not appreciated it whatsoever. So as an example, the Omega Speedmaster as well as the Tudor Black Bay versions have actually stayed mainly flat. The largest gainers are displayed in this graph. The Patek Philippe Nautilus 5711, retails for $35,000 and also at its height in 2022. Pulling credit limit from numerous counterparties left as well as right. So what's intriguing is I believe that something that was rather regular for these crypto business was that the enormous danger and also utilized that was taken by them. It appeared quite typical among the whole landscape. Their general approach was mostly minimized by their execs. Now in a bull market this most likely would have been fine, yet in a market where the property rate, like Bitcoin, is dropping 50 to 60% in a matter of weeks, this can trigger substantial causal sequence throughout the entire sector. Currently, some business are faring penalty. Throughout this time around, for instance, Sam Financial, Fried's Feet X is among those companies. As I discussed in the introductory, they provided obstructed by a choice to obtain them for $240 million. Yet they additionally offered them with a $400 million revolving debt facility. Additionally, SBF Sandbag being released committed $500 million in financing to Voyager. It doesn't seem like they're going to obtain their $600 million back from Three Arrows Capital. So they certainly need this line of credit. They have actually already pulled $75 million from that line of credit that SBF offered them. Essentially, Sam Bankman-Fried's just releasing crypto firms left and right now. And the reason is since all these crypto companies are so linked with each various other, at the end of the day, SBF counts on the crypto industry, his. We also saw the cost of Bitcoin in Ethereum autumn significantly. The total crypto market went down to below $1 trillion in market price for the very first time, considering that 2020 and also the rate of Bitcoin at the time had dropped to below 24,000, were trading for around 27,000. Ethereum likewise went down to listed below $1,200 from its earlier assistance of around $1,450. A couple of days later, it was reported that Three Arrowheads funding likewise have liquidity problems and Bitcoin additional drop to below the $20,000 mark. Currently, Three Arrows Funding is a Singaporean hedge fund that began as a hedge fund investing in typical currencies. It started off with $1.2 million in funding. And also in 2017, they really made a decision to make the sole focus of their fund cryptocurrency. One of their popular phone calls was calling the bottom of the Bitcoin market, when it was close to $3,800 per Bitcoin, and they loaded up as well as their possessions under management had actually as soon as gotten to an approximated $10 billion since in 2014. Their focus was to buy anything crypto associated. So firms' money as well as AFTs etc. Now a few of their biggest holdings included Tara Luna State Ether and the Grayscale Bitcoin count on. As you understand, with Luna it collapsed from greater than $40 billion in market value to essentially zero in the matter of